It is Monday, October 18th at the time of filming this video, and there's a few brand new Nintendo Switch related stories that have dropped that I want to share with you guys today, starting with The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch actually getting a new overview trailer, and while it's all we're getting for the 35th anniversary, it looks great, and I want to share the new information with you guys. Then we also have to cover a big update around Mario Party Superstars as new commercials, trailers, and gameplay is starting to drop for this game, and I want to quickly cover that with you all. Then the big talking point for today's video is we may have a leak that suggests that Nintendo is indeed planning at some point in time a all digital model of the Nintendo Switch. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we're covering a few different stories today, starting off with a new overview trailer for the Game & Watch Legend of Zelda Edition, the 35th anniversary celebration, if you can really call it that, but we are at least getting this console out on November 12th, obviously just as a commemorative event to celebrate Zelda's 35th anniversary. And while a lot of fans, including myself, were expecting quite a bit more than this, especially like some ports that we still have not seen come over to the Switch, such as Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. There was even talks about maybe Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask coming over in their 3DS ports. Obviously, we will be able to play those games, but in their original form via Nintendo Switch Online N64. But the new trailer that dropped today does do a good job of, especially if you are a Legend of Zelda collector like I am, a reason to go try to pick this thing up, as I do believe it retails at $49.99, so just $50 for it. I did get mine pre-ordered when they originally dropped online, but I do think that if this is anything like the Mario Game & Watch, you really shouldn't have too hard of a time actually finding one, as you could still walk through random stores and find the Mario Game & Watch as it stands right now today. So providing they kind of give it the same manufacturing run that collection did, I think that we will be able to find this one pretty easily. But obviously this will feature the original Legend of Zelda full game, Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, and it will feature Link's Awakening in its original form, obviously not the Switch port that we got somewhat recently, and then a old style Game & Watch classic game that's on there as the fourth game. And then obviously you can use this thing as a clock as well. I probably won't be doing that at all, and I'm actually torn on if I'm going to open this or if I'm just going to want to leave it sealed, because this will obviously be a collector's item that gets harder and harder to find the longer that it'll be out there. So I don't know, I may open this one up, I may not, I may maybe pick up an extra one and leave one sealed, but regardless, it is very cool to see this get closer to its actual release, as we can expect it on November 12th to drop. And I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below if you are planning on picking up a Zelda 35th anniversary Game & Watch, and share your feelings again if you were let down like I was that that's all we actually got. Of course we got Skyward Sword HD, but that definitely wasn't marketed as part of the Zelda's 35th anniversary. And bonus question, let me know if you still think there's hope. Like, I kind of do tend to believe that at some point in time in 2022 we may see at least Wind Waker or Twilight Princess HD make it over to the Switch, if not both. So share all your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on all things Zelda 35th anniversary in the comments down below. Now from there, I actually want to update you guys once again on Mario Party Superstars, as we are getting closer to its eventual release on October 29th, and we are starting to see Nintendo do their full-on marketing media push for this game. And the reason I continue to talk about it on the channel is honestly, this is going to be the Mario Party game for me. Definitively, I can say that just based off of what they have shown us so far. I was definitely a hardcore Mario Party fan back in the day on the N64 and GameCube era of games. Then when it got to the Wii, I started to slightly fall out of the series just due to the fact that they were all motion controlled mini games. And for me personally, that is not the most enticing thing, as I like these traditional button style mini games, and I have nostalgia for a lot of these boards and mini games that they'll be offering on Mario Party Superstars. And as we continue to get the new trailers, the gameplay just looks awesome, and Nintendo has confirmed themselves that every single one of these games will not be forced motion controls. You don't even have to have Joy-Cons to play it this time around like you did with Super Mario Party, which I was originally very hyped for that game at its release, and then I just found myself playing it less and less because of the forced Joy-Con control play. And when you turn a Joy-Con sideways and hold it, it's very cramped in my opinion. And it's just one of those things that, you know, I was very excited to actually see them go back to traditional button style controls. And you can play this with either your Nintendo Switch Pro controller, or you could even do something like what I will probably do, which is use like a Power A wireless GameCube controller, or just the wired GameCube controller, because you're going to have a ton of options now when it comes to the controller schemes. You could even, if you're planning on getting a Nintendo 64 Switch online controller, probably play that game with this. So it's very exciting to me. I can't wait to relive some of these mini games, as I recognize a lot of them. I don't remember how all of them are played, but in my opinion, this is going to be a peak of the Mario Party's series, especially in recent times. And we also know the full mini games list that I will have linked in the description down below in case you want to go look at them. But the mass majority of all the mini games that will be featured in Mario Party Superstars is from the N64 and GameCube era, and they definitely have a few Wii and even Wii U games in there, but they are very few and far between. So for me personally, I will be very excited to pick this up on day one on October 29th when it does release. And I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below if you're planning on picking up this game right out of the gate, or if you may wait to see reviews and online impressions and things like that. So make sure you share your thoughts and feelings on Mario Party Superstars in the comments down below. Now, the last major story I want to share with you guys today, and it is the big talking point for today's video, and that is the fact that we may have had a leak that suggests that Nintendo is indeed planning some form of a all digital Switch model. And I want to share why you guys may have been seeing this pop up over the last couple days online, as it is a big deal, because this could indicate some future planning that Nintendo has, whether it be around maybe something like a Switch Lite revision, or it could just be a separate model of a next gen Switch. But I do want to start off by talking about where these rumors and leaks kind of appeared from, and that is from the Xbox Era podcast, whereby a gentleman by the name of Nick does work over there. He actually has inside information a lot when it comes to Xbox related things, and he has a great track record on Xbox related stories specifically. I was unable to verify many Nintendo leaks from him myself, so make sure you keep an open mind when you're hearing all of these things, because there's obviously a lot of people who work in the industry who have connections that they may hear something from somebody that indicates that Nintendo is working on a certain product line. It does not mean that that product line will ultimately see the light of day, but I do want to share this because it is very interesting to kind of talk and speculate upon what Nintendo may do with their Switch family of consoles, as we are definitely in uncharted territories here with the future of the system, where it's like, do they keep the DS and 3DS type of thing going, where they just release really similar revisions and slowly upgrade it over the course of time because it is technically a portable console, or do we see them stick closer to their home console strategy, where the next version of a Switch may be a full-on upgrade and actually be something like a Switch 2 or a completely brand new name that hopefully is backwards compatible with the Switch? Well, before we dive into all the different things that this could mean and what we could expect Nintendo to do, I want to first share the Reddit post that kind of outlines the few different ways that Nintendo could go about doing this from this podcast, and then also a big moderator for gaming leaks and rumors on the Reddit post actually backing up that Nick indeed did share some credible info around these leaks with him specifically. So I do want to quickly read through this, and then we will come back to the discussion of how Nintendo could implement this going forward. So Nick of Xbox Era said on his podcast, Nintendo are developing either a Switch revision or the next Nintendo console with physical and digital editions. Nick of Xbox Era has said on his podcast that Nintendo are considering either making another revision of the Switch that is digital only, likely to keep costs down, or that the next Switch successor will be digital only, or they're making the Switch successor that is similar to the PS5 and Xbox Series, where they make both physical and digital edition of the same console. And a confirmed moderator does have a pinned comment that says, just want to leave a comment on this post saying, whilst Nick didn't post this rumor to the sub himself directly, he has sent mods proof of his claims, and this information was legitimately leaked to him. Can't say outright that this post is real, but there's a fairly decent chance. So to start off this conversation, there's obviously not any concrete information that he is claiming to say that Nintendo is tying this digital only model to a specific console that he knows of right now. This could easily be a Switch Lite revision with something like an OLED display maybe, and then they drop out the cartridge ability to drop down some of the manufacturing cost and maybe still sell it at that $199 price point. Or this could be something that is down the line planning. Maybe there's a Switch revision in 2022 or more more likely than that, as we're hearing from Nate Drake and many others online, that in fact this whole 4K rumor mill speculation talk that we've been seeing a lot of online when it comes to Nintendo products is indeed for whatever the Switch successor is, which does actually kind of make sense as we're now approaching the 5th year of the Switch's life cycle. And while it could definitely be extended longer than that, it's not going to be out of the realm of possibility for Nintendo to start planning and manufacturing their next generation console, at which point you start to get leaks like these surfacing online. So while I'm indifferent to which way Nintendo could go here, as I mentioned earlier, we are truly in uncharted territories with how Nintendo is handling the marketing of this console, because this is the first console they have ever combined their two different models. As you know, we previously saw the DS, even Game Boy, all the way back to the original Game Boy sold alongside of Nintendo home consoles, and they now have this first hybrid console. So the directions that they could go here are truly endless. I think I like to believe that what this is most likely going to be is something like what we saw PlayStation do this generation, where you actually have a higher price tier for a digital and physical console of a Switch 2, let's say, and then you have a lower price tier that is digital only, and maybe it's only a $50 price point shift, not like the $100 price point shift like Sony tried to do. But I gotta say that companies do enjoy selling their games digitally over physically, because it cuts out the retailer, it cuts out the shipping requirements and logistics about how many copies are the retailers going to buy versus how many get sold to end consumers. Like, there is a lot of headache when it comes to physical media, and that's why we've already seen all of these other industries like movies and music make the shift to an all digital future. And while I'm a collector that doesn't want to see that happen, it will happen to games eventually. And of course, a stepping stone to get there is to release two models of the same console, where one is digital only for the fans that prefer it that way, and one still offers you that access to the physical media. Because what Nintendo is not going to want to do is release a Switch 2 that is only digital as soon as the next couple years, when fans that have this giant library of Switch physical titles will then not be able to be played. And while we don't have any kind of confirmation that Nintendo will for sure deliver on backwards compatibility to the future successor of the Switch, I think it's highly unlikely that they don't build that in, because of the success of the Switch at it being almost at 100 million units sold now. And there's too many fans out there that would be too outraged. You talk about NSO online pricing being a hot topic, like, go have Nintendo tell everybody that they're not going to be able to play any of their previous Switch games on a Switch successor that comes out not only 6 or so years later after the original console. Like, there will be outrage. So I do think that Nintendo wants to capitalize on their current momentum going forward into whatever the next generation is. And, you know, my personal speculation around this is that we could probably see something like a $400 Switch Pro, or Switch 2 rather, because I know everybody online hates the name Switch Pro. So let's just say Switch 2, and it is the successor to the current model Switch. And then you have something like a $350 price point for the Switch 2 digital only edition, and then maybe they continue to support the OLED model as the previous gen at something like a $300 or $250. The other option they could go is, obviously this could just be something in the plans for a Switch Lite revision that we can maybe see as soon as next year as well, because Nintendo may continue to do these small upgrades like we saw them do more with the DS style of consoles, because these are technically also handheld consoles. So at this point in the video, guys, I really want to know your thoughts and opinions around these leaks and rumors. Do you think that we are going to get something like multiple versions of the same Switch going forward, with one being physical and one being digital only? Or do you think that this is something that may be in their R&D conversations right now, but that will not see the light of day as far as retail products finalized? So I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around all the different topics we covered today. So make sure you share your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comments down below before you leave the video. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.